better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you need a wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice.
Are you warming up?
Oh, I'm warm. I'm so warm. I've been hollering into this thing all day already. I could not be more ready to talk to you, Matt, my co-host.
I'm happy to talk to you, Rob, too. One day we'll have to leave in, Rob and I do a yelling session at each other before we start.
We yodel before we turn on the mic. That's why we sound so robust and vigorous every time we're on this podcast.
Which I do that too when I play with my run my games. I go into the closet and scream.
You can leave this in.
It really psychs out my players too. It's an added bonus.
You can leave this in or take it out. But I was at home for my father's birthday last month, and he and I and my uncle were all in a room together. And my father was a pastor, and my uncle's a lawyer.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy
Father,
Trinity.
Uncle, and son.
And
son, nephew.
My partner, Alex, observed at one point that, nobody could hear anything that anybody else was saying because all of our, booming voices were, the only sound that anybody could register. Everybody else's conversation was drowned out by our stentorian tones. It runs in the family, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, your clan it's a powerful clan.
It
Rob.
is. Barrel-chested, loud men. Yeah, so anyway, this is Dungeon Master of None.
I'm Dungeon Master Matt, and he's Rob. He's taking a swig of beer because it's a Patreon episode. These are
right.
the episodes where we're allowed to drink.
That's right. little looser, and I'm drinking the beer because I want to, but also because we have something fun that I need some beer to fully enjoy. Matt has discovered
I delve too greedily and too deeply, Rob,
into the D&D subreddit, which we have been to before, and we appreciate for its flaws and also its virtues, which are fewer than its flaws. But this particular thread that Matt has found is unpopular DM opinions.
Yes. Imagine, if you will, the return of unwanted advice, a segment we did 2 of and then gave up on early on in this podcast, where we would find people's opinions about Dungeons and Dragons and then, I don't know.
And then answer them.
Give them
and
advice,
then provide
answer them.
answers they didn't ask for, yeah.
That was before we had any listeners or letters.
And then you started asking us questions, which was nice because that was
better.
advice you wanted.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted advice. I don't know if the advice that you got is what you wanted, but it was at least a question requesting that someone give them advice.
Imagine if a Christopher Nolan type, or let's say one of your Zack Snyder, picked up the original script for Unwanted Advice and wanted to do a gritty or dark reboot of it. And that's what we found here. Just
that's right.
A trove, a tome, a delve of people's worst takes, and they know they're bad already, right? Mm-hmm. That's, I guess, the idea of the thread. Though I don't know if people really know they're bad.
Well, this is interesting. Yeah, this is the edgy, cool reboot of Unwanted Advice, and yeah, these are unpopular opinions, and you know how unpopular opinions are. Sometimes people state spicy opinions, but they know they're popular. But some people are brave, and some people post opinions that are actually unpopular. And if you go to Reddit and you sort by controversial, which if you are trying to learn anything or enjoy yourself, you shouldn't do. But if you want to see the real dregs of the internet, you should. And yeah, so we went to this thread and we sorted by controversial and found the truly the spiciest opinions, the ones where people did not agree and thought they were actually bad. These are actually unpopular DM opinions, and Matt and I are just we're gonna read some and we're gonna talk about them.
We're gonna fucking go.
So, Matt, do you want to lead us off? There's no shortage here of.
Oh yeah, we'll never get through all the ones amazing, that I starred.
By the way, we'll link this in the show notes. Hopefully they won't delete it, but there's 1,600 comments at time of recording, and 1,400 upvotes. That's a ratio. That's a Reddit ratio. That's how you know that this thread is it's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what that Reddit ratio means, Rob, and please don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know. Here's the first one. Any DM that complains about flying at level 1 is a bad DM.
This was going to be my first one too.
Oh, God.
No, but it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
You know what I like about that one? Sorry. You know what I like about this is that it's, I can see it both ways. I also think that it's incredibly combative, and I like that. I'm going to tell you what, Matt. I agree with this unpopular opinion. I'm sorry.
What?
I do.
Oh, fuck.
I agree with
All right.
it.
I was like,
agree with
I'm
it.
sure we'll disagree on one of these, but
The first one? Oh, no, you agree?
no, I completely disagree. Listen, take any like movie, any story, any problem you encounter in life, and flying makes it a million times easier. You cannot tell me that flying is not the most useful thing at early levels when players aren't good at like climbing and having magic items.
I didn't say that it wasn't incredibly overpowered for first level PC. I'm just saying it's not an insurmountable DM problem. You can
Okay,
roll with it.
okay,
You can
fine.
work with it.
Fine, but okay, but the point was like, oh, if you complain, you're a bad DM, and I definitely complain if a player gets.
That's a little strongly worded. You're right.
Listen,
you're allowed to complain.
If you want to have a player with a flying race at first level, that's fine, especially if like you're like, oh, that's going to be fine for this campaign. But like, I don't know. Again, I like my players at low level to be creative and learn how to, I don't know, attack puzzles in interesting ways. And I like there to be a curve of power, a power curve. I think it just throws it off.
I do think that a first level flying PC is going to really derail your game, but I do think it is manageable and can be a fun challenge. You're right, though, especially for beginner DMs, doesn't make you a bad DM. It just, you can work with it. You're right, though. You're right.
If the opinion was like flying should never exist, or flying is perfectly fine, or flying should never exist for first level, well, yeah, then I'd be on your side. But the idea that like it's not okay to complain, it definitely ruins a lot of interesting play that I like to have.
That's fair.
Okay. All right, we already got spicy. What's your first one?
I like this one a lot as well. If you can't make a basic map and an interesting encounter in less than 15 minutes, then you need to work on your improv.
Oh, that's so mean.
It's so mean. It's so mean. It's like those those stupid tests that they give Googlers before they hire them, insane like math or problem solving tests that they have to do on like a scratch paper without any references. And like, you'll never.
Oh yeah. Like in consulting, they do this too. They're like, all right, how many hot dog stands are on the Isle of Manhattan or something?
Right.
Or like
how many ping pong balls can fit in an airplane? I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It shows...
How about fuck you?
I mean, it shows, I don't know, critical thinking skills, but
no, yeah, I get what it's for.
Do you need,
not
like,
dumb.
When are you ever gonna like need to be able to do that? When do you need to create an encounter and a map in 15 minutes? Like,
right.
That's good to know how to do, but like, if you can't, that's okay. Maybe you're good at other things.
It's totally okay. In most of my game here, and the answer, of course, I think for a good DM is it's entirely situational, right? If you know what is around, like what's on your table of what's in this area of the game, or like what this city or dungeon is like, then I can absolutely do it in 15 minutes. But if I got myself into a situation where I'm not really sure where we are in my head and I'm going to figure it out between breaks next time, I might be fucked.
Yeah, I can do this. It's not going to be a good map or a good encounter, but I can do it. I can do it all day, every day, but doesn't mean anything. It just means this plays to my skill set, you know? Other people are better at other things.
And also, you don't need, this is one of the things that irked me about this opinion, why I think it's actually bad, is you don't need to get good at this kind of improv. Because if you make
not.
3 of these, that will be more than you ever need for the next 2 years. And if you run out of those, you can sit down for an hour and make 3 more.
Yeah, a perfectly acceptable alternative would be to just have a small number of pre-prepared maps and encounters. You can create, like Matt said, probably 3 and intermix them in a near infinite number of combinations before you're ever going to need to make something up on the spot. You know, it's
Yeah.
This is a bad opinion.
Yeah, bad opinion. Okay, ka-chink, myth busted. You know, bad opinion.
Myth busted.
Listen, there was a cinema sin for you, Rob.
That's right. That's right.
In Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ, died for our cinema sins. I just thought of that.